Thank you so much. That was a heck of an introduction. I was definitely listening to that. Thank you so much, Lex, and to the Buckeye Speed Bash for having me again back for this event, and for having this game in particular. This game's gotten a lot of time put into it this year, and I'm very happy to be able to play for Buckeye Speed Bash along with the character donation incentive. This is my fourth time having it in a marathon with character donation incentive, and honestly, I think it's just one of the best ways to do it because I can play every character in this game to pretty much the exact same ability, and that's what makes it easy. So anyway, let's go and have a look at the polls. Looks like there was an early commanding lead for Bart pretty much right after the first run of the marathon, and it doesn't look like that was ever lost. So looks like we're going to be playing that today myself. Cool. It was interesting to see Bart end up winning these. He's never what I consider to be the perfect character for a game like this. So we'll go ahead and just pop in our quarter and just count down 3, 2, 1, go. Is that going to be okay? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
On choosing Bart, we're going to say 3, 2, 1, go. So for those that have or have not seen this game before, our plot is pretty simple and also pretty ridiculous. Smithers kidnaps Maggie because she has a diamond in her mouth that he tried to steal from a jeweler. And the Simpsons don't really care about the diamond, they just want Maggie back. First, we're going to go ahead and just drop this here. A lot of these items you're seeing, you actually will not have seen if you played this in an arcade growing up, because this is actually the Japanese version that I'm playing, because to me it's the more fun version of the two, and it's also faster. And by that I mean like much faster. This guy will not take a hit. I think the difference in my PBs between the two versions for the default difficulty is something like 10 minutes, so just to point out how absurd the US version is compared to what I'm doing here. So here we have this broom, which I was able to obtain from that tree. This is exclusive to this version of the game, and it's actually essential to make sure we can kill the boss as quickly as possible. Hopefully he doesn't jump. He jumped one time. Bad luck. Yeah, that's just RNG. There's nothing I can do about that. Him jumping like that is just a response to an input, so there's nothing I can do about him wanting to do that. So bad RNG there. Didn't lead to a great fight, but we still did okay. No deaths, no nothing. We'll talk a bit more about this game after this bonus game. We have bonus games after stages 1 and 6, and it just involves a lot of mashing. If you're a Link to the Past speedrunner, you're good at the technique called hovering. It's actually really good and applicable here. Gets way better times than what I can get. For example, there I got like a mid 2, and that's actually a really bad time for me. Normally I can get between like low 3s and mid 3s. If you're good at hovering, you can get in like the 5s. You can save a lot of time with good hovering. All right, on to stage 2. A bit more fleshed out than stage 1, which is just really short. You can see most of my offense consists of this attack here, which is just a special attack. Very similar to the one that's in TMNT Arcade, where you just press both buttons at the same time. Does the most damage of any attack you can use. That was unfortunate. When enemies go off screen like that, they actually have iframes, and it's really obnoxious. They have iframes to specific attacks. They have iframes to any dive, like this one I'm going to do with a hammer. Quick thing to note about the hammer actually is in the US version of this game, but it's not nearly as powerful. For that hammer, all you can utilize is 2 attacks. You can do the ground melee attack, which you won't be seeing much out of for me because it's really slow, and you can do a jumping attack with it, which is also not very good. For the Japanese version, you have this dive attack that you get in lieu of the jumping attack, which is insanely overpowered, because you can see it not only provides me movement, but it also one-shots every enemy I'm going to hit. And it's really good against bosses. Like, it does a ton of damage on bosses. Take that guy out. That's one of the only guys I'll use the melee on, because if I try to dive him there, he actually will have iframes to that attack, and I just don't want that to happen. I did not scroll far enough for the boss. It was only a couple pixels away. Here's where you'll see the dive come into play. With pretty much anything else you could be using, this guy would take probably the same number of hits you want to do special. That's bad luck for sure. He randomly will go back and throw bombs like that. He does it twice. That's the worst RNG. Yay, marathon. Oh well. Anyway, with the hammer dive, it only takes 3 cycles and 8 hits, and he's done. Do some quick mashing to get through our cutscene here. We're plummeting to our untimely demise, except can't be because it's only stage 3. We're not even close. So this is actually to me, one of the gatekeepers of the game. Stage 3 does have its quirks, and it's one of those stages that actually took me a long time to learn how to play properly. The spacing in this stage is really something. in that you don't really have a lot of space to work with. The top to bottom ratio that you get and like the plane movement is not really that strong. You just don't get a lot of room to move around compared to like the previous stage where we basically got to go wherever we wanted at all times. I was today years old when I learned how you could hit an enemy out of a whiff slide, so that's cool. Hit that guy. Go kill this zombie real quick. Now I get the slingshot, also in the US version of this game, but also not nearly as powerful. As you can see, it's just killing everything here with one hit. And that's normally the case with the suits, but with zombies, it takes 3 hits to actually kill them. Here it only takes 1. We're just gonna fire away. Throw that. That's a strat from Zurst, another runner of this game and one-time world record holder. Throwing that slingshot was actually a really, really big deal for saving that kind of time, because it just one-shots both those guys are in front of you, and it just saves a lot of time. Alright, on to this elevator. Elevators, it's what it is. It's an auto-scroller, but we can actually time scan it. What we're planning to do here is I'm actually not going to attack any enemies because you can only have a fixed number of enemies on screen at a time. You can go as high as 4, but if you let the first 3 stick around, then you won't spawn any more enemies. So my goal is to reach the bottom of the elevator and then kill them without having to spawn any more enemies, because why fight more enemies when I don't have to? Cost me time, could cost me health. Rather just dive around and do nada. Also, once again, I should say thank you so much to everybody who donated towards this run. I always love being able to see a character bid war erupt. And to everyone who's donated so far for water aid, y'all are incredible. Thank you. Alright, gotta line this up here for a quick kill. So this stage 3 boss does have a quick kill associated with it. I'm actually gonna go quiet here while I see if I can get it. Almost lost it. Lost it there. That's unfortunate. I was a little bit off timing on one of those hits, but essentially what you're trying to do is make it to where they just keep looping back and forth. You just keep hitting with specials. I started off really well, but then some of the timing got off due to my vertical positioning, so stuff happens. Minor mistake. We didn't die. We're fine. On stage 4, this is one of my favorite stages in the run. This was actually a piece that I discovered here, this hammer. I remember I saw it on a YouTube video that was showcasing this game, highlighting the differences between US and JP. Throw that at that guy. We throw the hammer there despite its power level because we get to kill the guy on the left faster, and that's really good to have. Let's stool into that clown. There we go. More enemies to take care of here. I always want to try and get the drop on that guy before we can slide in. It's kind of tough sometimes, but we did it. Hit that. This stage is pretty simple. It's one of the few stages where we actually basically have a sub-weapon right from the start. You can just bulldoze everything. Didn't get to despawn on that guy, but no big deal. So for this boss, this is actually a manip strat I discovered, I think it was last month before my SGDQ 2020 run. This strat is old, one where you just keep hitting him as soon as he gets up, and it only takes 10 hits. How I improved it though was actually you will get behind him, as you can see, and that's actually really good because if you're standing behind him, he's much less inclined to do a wake-up attack to try to get you off of him. Because I was losing a lot of runs to that where I'd like mistime the jump hit, and I would just get hit. Not only would it cost me time, but it could also cost me the run because I would just lose a life, and you don't want to do that. Okay, on to stage 5, probably the hardest stage in the game. It's definitely the most open. It's oddly weird that it has the same issues as, say, stage 3, like I talked about with space, but they're the exact opposite issues. This stage has too much space, which gives enemies too much room to do whatever they want. I got this. I should be able to. Oh, I didn't get it. Okay. It's weird. I've hit that manip strat. There was a manip strat that forces that screen to scroll there, and I've gotten it every run this week until last night when I improved the normal PB up to 1520, down to 1525, shouldn't say up, down. And now I didn't get it again. Not a big deal, it only costs a little bit of time. I think it loses like 3 or 4 seconds. So here's a speed strat that's exclusive for Bart. That broom that appears there in front of the bear, that's actually a discovery by a one-time world record holder, Makina Azul. But Zurst improved on it by discovering that Bart can throw the slingshot and spawn it himself, instead of having to walk up and hit it, so he gets to save time there. The other 3 characters can't do that, and I think it has something to do with the way Bart throws the slingshot. I think it has like a lower center of gravity than the other characters do. Not sure why Lisa didn't get that as well. Okay, I'm not having a good bear fight here. Bear's kind of a jerk, even with the broom, which improves the fight for you drastically. But sometimes those boulders get in your way, and what it does for me is it'll throw off the timing like crazy. Don't want it to happen, but it happens. Alright, that'll clear out stage 5, still deathless. Bringing us on into some helicopter action. Smithers' face looking like a banana and whatnot. So Maggie's out of our clutches again. All the way down the waterfall. And we passed out, and now we're going to have to go beat on stuff that doesn't actually exist. Here we have Dreamland. Just total fever dream here. I think someone I know once referred to it as Homer's fever dream because all the things that occur in it are like something that could happen in his nightmares, like giant donuts, and here you have Marge's head sticking out of the ground. She can slam her hair on the ground to attack you, but we didn't have to encounter that. Flying saxophones, another Homer issue. Yes, it's a Lisa item, but Homer gets really annoyed when she plays saxophone. Good saxes, though. That sax manip strat is one that I'm still working on improving, but that's the best I've got so far. It's really important to make sure you can mitigate what saxers are going to be able to do to you, because if you don't, they can actually combo you, and it's honestly really hard if they get away from you, because they can drop notes on you, and they can just do it again while you're down. This is a Zerst discovery as well. That nuke that's hiding in the ground, making that Bart Devils section a complete joke. Gonna spawn that bowling ball. While we fight a giant bowling ball, because meta. This guy attacks us in 4 phases. Didn't really want to get hit there, but it's not the worst. Second phase, I want to time this bowling ball hit him twice. Only got 1 hit, deuce. I was a little bit early there. So we're gonna probably have a 3 jumper. 4 jumper, yeah, not great. So what you want to do is for the start of that phase, you want to throw the bowling ball to where it hits him twice. That way you'll get a 1 jumper at minimum, 2 jumper at max. But I missed getting 2 hits, so we had to settle for 4. So not great, but from here, all we're going to have to do is just go into this last extendo arm phase, and this is pretty simple. Just follow him and keep hitting him like this. It does the most damage, and there's just no reason not to do it. It's pretty safe. And boom goes the dynamite. Alright, that'll take us out of Dreamland. Simpsons house shown in the background. Pretty cool imagery there. I also love the music transition out of this stage. It's neat. On to our second bonus game, because now we have to wake up. It's weird. You're only able to skip that earlier. Maybe I was hitting the wrong buttons. This one's a little bit faster than the previous one, because it doesn't take as many hits to wake Bart up. Mid-fives is about what I'm normally used to able to hit. With proper hovering, you can get like 7s. So remember, learn your hovering. Don't be like me. On to the inappropriately named Channel 6 for Stage 7. Don't know how they blundered that, but here we are. That's not good. I got whiff punished super hard there. Okay, this is not going well. What I wanted to do is use that bowling ball to set up for a triple kill there, but that other guy spawned early, and then I got trolled on top of it. So we're going to have to get some safety health here before too long. Good news is, this stage, while it would be difficult normally, you start with a sub-weapon, similar to how you did in Stage 4, and the stage is going to be a breeze for the most part, with maybe 1 exception. Take that for safety. So I got trolled a lot at the beginning. Alright, so our mini-boss is this robot. Only had to hit him 3 times with dives. There's actually a really cool despawn strat I'm going to go for here. Don't think I got it. Yeah, I didn't get it. So, if you kill the 2 enemies that appear after the robot with the exact same attack, that guy in the door at the top will not spawn. It's a pretty cool strat that I think Zerst discovered, and I didn't find out about it until much, much later, like right before I recorded my tutorial for this game. It's really neat. It just gets 1 enemy off the screen for free as long as you can hit it, but I haven't had a lot of luck hitting that lately, because you do have to hit both enemies at the same time, and if they're uncooperative, you're just not going to get it. Pretty much up to the game's behavior from there. It does require execution, yes, but sometimes the game knows. So these not foot soldiers can be really annoying. They're actually some of the more annoying enemies in the game when they want to be. You can still take them out with hammer shots, but their movement is kind of ridiculous. They have this high-angled jump kick that's hard to hit them out of, and they have a backflip that can evade pretty much everything you do. So for our boss here, we get some allusions to other Konami games. Yeah, it's honestly not that hard. There is one aspect of the fight that's kind of troll-tastic, like that. Not the fact that I got hit. I got distracted, got hit, because that ninja decided to appear. That goon appears regardless, and I was trying to take him out before the next wave started, and it didn't work, so by the time I was able to get back in there to retain the fight, it just got clubbed. Not uncommon. But it happens. And we're still deathless, so that's good. This will take us into our last stage, which is just a mini boss rush, but it also does have the 2 hardest boss fights in the game. Although, I've definitely learned that Smithers is not as hard as I cracked him up to be once upon a time. But I do need really, really good execution here to be able to maintain a good Smithers fight. There's a very specific pattern you should go for on him every single time. So that's 1, and then 2, and 3, and 4, 5. For those that remember blue-haired Smithers. Okay, I did not get that hit. That's unfortunate. He got away from me. The swing. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to do that quickly. Okay, so we're not going to get the strat we want, sadly. Him getting away lets him just do basically whatever he wants, and it's not good. Don't really want to use the bombs, but I will if I have to. Yeah, it's not good. That cape is pretty instant. It also has a lot of active frames. But I think I can take him out from here. Yeah, so that fight's vary by the numbers. You want to make sure you get a specific number of hits in the first cycle, which I did not. You want to get 5, and I only got 4 because you got away from me for the last one. That's also a JP exclusive. Smithers dropping all that fruit, plus the food items in the back. So on to Burns. First thing I'm going to do is manipulate him to come down here to where the bookcase is going to be. That's my visual cue. Special him all the way. Specials are worth 3 normal attacks in terms of damage there. So it is faster taking him to phase 2 that way. So the goal from here is I want to see if I can maintain him in front of the bookcase. Easier said than done. That's gross. Okay, so Bart being a little bit past means I should be able to have this from here. Still a rough phase 2. I should still be able to carry this home from here. Essentially, for the final 3 phases, as long as I'm able to maintain this combo, he should not be able to get out of this. So let's hope for that. Take him out on the home stretch. Did not want that to happen. Also not good. Burns' hits are also incredibly invincible for what that's worth. Like, if he throws out the prongs there, I don't think there's any way you're not getting tagged. But yeah, it looks to be locked in place here, so we should have to the finish, be ready on time. It occurs when Maggie falls on top of Burns. Alright, that'll finish the fight with Burns. We have to hit him one more time, though, to knock him down, and that's going to be time. And Maggie was safely rescued. And thanks to the whole diamond business, now Maggie's going to go ahead and return the favor by popping a pacifier into Burns' mouth. Over his corpse, I guess? I guess that's what that means, dead, excised. So yeah, not a bad run. Definitely had a lot of bad luck across that stage, mostly across the boss fights. But still managed to get there, had a deathless run, it went really, really well. And that's Simpsons Arcade. Essentially everything I did outside of the stage 5 slingshot toss, you can do that with any other character. But yeah, fun game, it's a classic. A lot of people haven't played this version, and for those that enjoy it but think it's too hard, I highly suggest seeing what you can do about playing this version in particular. The JP version's awesome. It's the best one to start with if you're actually looking to play the game. And it can actually make you feel like you're good at it, because it worked for me. So, but anyway, I digress. Thank you all so much for donating and for hanging out. Looks like up next we've got the Karma with some Cokerone. Great run. We'll see you all soon. I'll be back tomorrow for some TMNT Arcade, and in the meantime, just have a good one. Take care, everybody.